Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at how the Etsy algorithm works. And I'm not going to be talking theoretically. We're actually going to go to Etsy and see what happens when someone goes to Etsy, because I think that we all need to see this now. The Etsy algorithm has changed a lot because they've just added more things to it. It's not that your keywords aren't important. They are. It's not that you have to write a title that's readable by the customer. I've been saying that for years, and that actually works better the way that these algorithms work now. You have to have your tags, write a good description. But the precise, when people give you advice like you have to do this, you have to put this here, you have to do that there, it's not as important because Etsy really isn't relying on that kind of stuff to signal them for what to show. So let's go on over to Etsy, and I'm going to be showing you an incognito I'm signed in incognito in this window so that it doesn't have my browsing history, because I think that's important. If you're going to do this, you need to see what they're showing people as a neutral user, more or less. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is that you have to pay attention to the app, because the Etsy app shows you completely different stuff than the browser does. So if you're going, and I'm not signed in on the app either. I don't sign in to the app because I want to see what it's showing people. And my guess is that because I have this app on my phone, they can track my activity a lot easier, because even if I'm not signed in, they probably still, I'm not sure, but I would think that they still have signals about what's going on with the app. Let's compare, right? So first, this is the first thing you see when you're signed in. When you're not signed in on Etsy, you go to Etsy. It says get the looks, earrings under 30. Oh no, we're not emphasizing cheap. Okay. That I think that's BS. I think that Etsy really does emphasize inexpensive stuff and stuff that's on sale. And based on what I've been going on here and kind of messing around for the last couple of days, that's what I'm seeing a lot of. So first we have shop our most popular categories. All right, that's great. But if you go to the app, it's showing me home decor stuff. It's not showing me jewelry. I see wall decor here, digital drawings and illustrations. It's showing me kind of like home decor, and there's some clothing, but it's mostly art. There is personalized gifts. That is something that's on here. It's not showing me any of the same stuff. So I think that we really need to start paying attention more to the app, because they are pushing people hard to get the app. And if you go to Etsy when you're signed in, they will flash something up on the screen that says, get the app, get the app, get the app. And they've said that they're pushing people. So I'm not just making that up. You need to pay attention to both desktop and the app, but I think it's easier just to show you what they do on desktop. But it's the same thing here. First, they're going to show you popular categories. Pay attention to this, because popular just means that they're selling a lot of it, obviously. I'm seeing 3 of these are jewelry. Etsy sells a lot of jewelry, and that it's very competitive. And we've always known that. It's been like that for at least a decade, if not longer. And then we've got wall decor, digital drawings and illustrations. So these are kind of decor things, right? Signs could be for parties. It could be for bedroom decor, could be for home decor. But basically they're showing us jewelry and home decor. Then we have gifts. Now, as soon as you click into this, and pay attention, gifts for her, gifts for him, engagement gifts, baby gifts, personalized clothing, and garden gifts. Pay attention to that, because we're going to go and do something in a minute. As soon as you click into this, I think that it takes you into gift mode. Now, if you're on the app and you go into gift mode, and it's right down here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it on the screen because it's so small. On the app, it says home, deals, gift mode, favorites, and cart. Okay. If you go into gift mode on the app, it brings up actual gift mode, and you have to start searching for things. But it asks you, what are they into? And then you'll put something in, and then it asks you more questions. But it's basically leading you down the path to show you things. When you hit deals on the app, I think it used to take you to actual things that are on sale. Now what my app is doing, and it could be different for other phones, but what my app is doing is it's telling you you need to sign in to see deals from your favorite shops. So that's a change as far as I remember. And I honestly, I don't shop on the app too much, so this might have been around for quite a while. I don't know. If they're forcing people to sign in to see deals, then that would go along with what I said, that they've said they want people to use the app. I guess it's easier to track people if it's in, I don't know. But they really are pushing people to use the app. So I would advise you to pay attention to what's going on with the app, because if the buttons that they're showing on the app are deals and gift mode, You pretty much have to be in those two categories to be seen on the app, unless people are just going to come in and search. So that's something else to take into account. And you might be thinking, how is this about how the Etsy algorithm works? Yeah, don't worry. I'm showing you how it works. Apparently on desktop, you don't need to sign in to see deals, but this is interesting. Okay, so they have the timer. This is a customer nudge that tries to get people to click this because, oh my God, time's running out. Well, I was on here yesterday, like I said, and all of these things were still there. So this is not refreshing, at least the first 5 slots. I went back to see more of this. This was here yesterday. I'm not sure about this. I know I've seen this before, but this might have been, there might have been something that was customized for a child because I started looking at baby sweaters and I have no need for those. But a lot of these things were there already. So I'm not sure how often these change. It does have this timer, but that's just to give people a sense of urgency to make them think they need to click on this now because those are going to go away. And obviously they haven't because, like I said, all of these were here yesterday. I also would be careful with this wifey and hubby thing because I think somebody tried to trademark those. You might want to check that. Anytime you do anything with words on it, you just want to check to make sure it's not copyrighted or trademarked. Okay, so now we're into home improvement. Okay, this is what we were seeing on the app. There's not like a whole lot of stuff here. Shop these unique finds. Okay. Oh, but look, editor's picks. That's important for what I'm going to talk about in a minute. Okay, shop gifts perfect for the occasion and shop the look. And then you can click on these things to find individual listings. Okay, then we have Black owned Etsy shop. I'll keep going down at the bottom. Special prices. So this is sales. This is more sales. Original items from local shops. I guess they're going to show you things local to where you are. Maybe, I don't know. Fresh from the blog. Okay, now we're into blog articles. So I will skip that. But, basically all of this is designed to get people to click and not search. And when you click onto one of these, it does populate, sometimes it populates a search phrase. But what they want people to do is to click on one of these things and not search. They want to lead people down the path of showing them things instead of having them search for things. Because searches, it used to bring up a wider variety of things, but Etsy is really curating things, and search has changed also. Etsy is really curating things to bring up a specific type of photo, a specific type of shop that gets good reviews, a specific type of color. So when you're doing this kind of examination, which it's not really competitor analysis, it's like examining Etsy. You have to go in and see what are they doing? What are they pushing? Because if you're trying to sell something that doesn't show up here at all, then it's going to be harder to be found because they're really taking people by the hand and leading them down a path of this is what you want to look at next. Let me go up here and let's say I am going to search for something. I'm going to click here and this is what comes up. Okay. And remember before I said, pay attention to this, gifts for her, gifts for him, engagement, gifts, baby gift. This is exactly the same thing as down here. Gifts for her, gifts for him, engagement gifts, baby gifts. They have it in multiple places. So let's say I came here to get a baby shower present. Oh, baby gifts. There we go. Okay. Now, did I search for anything? Did I actually type anything in? No, I did not. Okay. And by clicking on that link, and I could have clicked on the gifts for whatever section down in the bottom. Now we're being filtered for Etsy's picks. Okay. Now Etsy's picks, nobody knows how you get that badge. And for a while, people said that they were getting it immediately upon listing a listing. So a brand new listing was getting Etsy's picks badge. I think that they're just using this to filter out things that don't have the Etsy aesthetic. And this is my opinion. Okay, so everything that I say in this video is my opinion based on what I'm seeing Etsy actually doing. I'm not being theoretical. I'm not saying, oh, if you do this, then this might happen. I'm saying this is what Etsy is doing right now. And you can do the same thing. Okay, so you can go and look at your own Etsy account and see if I'm full of crap. That's fine. But there are a lot of people online saying you have to do this, you have to do that. And if you go to Etsy, that's not what I'm seeing. So, just take that for what it's worth. Just consider the source, consider what they're telling you. Basically, they're filtering for Etsy's picks. So everything that you see on this page is going to be an Etsy's pick. It might not say it here. This is an ad, so I have to make sure to avoid ads. Popular now. Let me click into this. It's an Etsy's pick. This is Etsy's picks, right? So if somebody comes to Etsy and they click instead of searching, they're going to be filtered into categories. And if your listing is not an Etsy's pick, you're not going to be shown, period. That's just how this goes. They also have all these other filters. Some of these might be attributes. Some of them might be based on keywords, but make sure that you fill out all of your attributes. Make sure that you fill out all the categories correctly, because they do use those for filters, and Etsy is leaning heavily on filters these days. This is coming up at the top of everything. And it used to be that it came up for some, but you had to open up the filters, but now they're just putting it right out there. Extra special gifts for everyone. This is right up at the top. They're trying to lure me into gift mode. If I go to gift mode, this is another whole thing where people can just go and click on things. It's a new baby. It's a baby shower gift. Let's look at new baby. Okay, so now we've got all this going, and again, lots of things to click. This is best gifts. I'm not looking for that. More ideas for new baby. Thoughtful new baby ideas. Perfect gifts for every occasion. Okay, again, Etsy's picks. This is what Etsy is doing now. Etsy is trying to get people to come to Etsy and never search for anything. They want to show them, the quote unquote, the best of Etsy. And this is what they've said in multiple presentations. I'm not making that up. And I'm not saying that these things actually are the best. I'm just saying that this is what Etsy is doing. And Etsy has said, we want to show people the best of Etsy, because they know that when they show people things that people have bought and kind of fit the Etsy aesthetic, that they will not leave bad reviews. They're looking for people who are selling things that get good reviews. There's a lot that goes into this. But my main point with this is, yes, I mean, look, up here in the search bar, there's no search query attached to this page. This is not something that someone has searched for on their own. This is something that Etsy has said, come and look at this stuff. Let me show you this stuff. This is the salesperson when you walk into the store, where they're like, let me show you these things. They're our best sellers. Let me show you these things. And they're showing you the things that they think that everybody wants to see, because they've sold before, they get good reviews. They're a popular color. They're a popular trend based on sales, because Etsy doesn't determine trends. Etsy looks at what's selling and then shows more of that. Now, you might be saying, well, that means I don't have to worry about keywords. No, that's not true. Okay, because Etsy uses keywords to determine where to look for things, right? So you can't just ignore keywords, but look, sensory. Okay, here's sensory toys. Okay, patchwork baby quilts. If you sell those, maybe you should make sure that you have the term patchwork baby quilt in your listing. I don't know if that's going to help. I think it probably would, except that you have to be an Etsy's pick, okay? Because we've got that Etsy's pick filter going. What you can do, look and see what is Etsy promoting? What is Etsy showing to people? All right, now let's say, now see, as soon as you look at anything on Etsy, it's tracking me. It's going to show me things that I viewed already. See how this has changed, right? So this front page is now changed. I've got the baby quilt I looked at. I guess I clicked on this little toy. I'm not sure. But we still have the gifting here. They're still pushing that. Picks inspired by my shopping. They're now showing me things that they think I'm going to want to see based on things that I looked at. And this is why it's important to do this in an incognito browser, so that they don't have your history, because you want to see what they're showing people, because what I see is going to be different than what anybody else sees based on what I've done on the platform when I'm signed in. And I'm not signed in, but they now have a little history because that's what I was looking at, and they know that. So the things that they're showing me are going to change. I'm curious if this has changed. That has not changed. Today's big deals, our most popular categories. They are showing me some different things down here. So everything that you click on is going to change what Etsy shows you. And again, this is the browsing algorithm. This is not people typing something into search. What happens if I do want to type something into search? I'm not even going to click on this. I'm going to type in bracelet. Let's say I'm shopping for a bracelet, and we'll see what comes up. Okay, so first they're trying to filter me through here. What filters are on? There's no filters that are on chosen right now. So I'm going to be seeing pretty much everything theoretically. I'm going to be seeing theoretically everything that's not an Etsy's pick. I'm going to see things that match the keywords correctly. Bracelet's really a very general keyword though, but let's go down and see what they have. So first line is Etsy's pick. Okay, they want you to go to Etsy's picks. That's what they're going to show people. This is just merchandising. This is totally normal. All right, this is not anything unusual. Etsy shows people things that sell. And as soon as something sells, it kind of gets ranked up a little bit to the top of search for a while to see if it sells again. If it does, it then gets this popular now tag. So if something is selling consistently, and these are ads, so I am gonna scroll down. What happened? These are ads. It just suddenly blacked out on me. What the heck? Okay, but those are the ads are blacking out. I'm not too concerned about that. These are not ads. Popular now, popular now, popular now. And remember that this is a search that I actually typed in. Popular now just means that it's selling. Okay, it hasn't reached bestseller yet, and nobody knows what bestseller tags mean. I think it's something to do with your specific shop, but it's not like a Etsy wide thing. It's something in your shop. If you've sold a lot of something, it becomes a bestseller. Popular now means that it is selling, maybe not a lot, but enough that it boosts it back up to the top of search. And because Etsy sells so much jewelry, I think that it probably is selling a decent amount, all of these things. What you need to do, okay, popular now just means it's selling. And bestseller comes in here too. Okay, so bestsellers are selling, obviously, but bestseller, I think, is something to do with the shop as opposed to Etsy as a whole. But popular now and bestseller are showing up. This is what's showing up in the search results. These have always been showing up. Popular now means this is selling right now. Okay. That's always been there. They just haven't had the popular now. Popular now is a nudge to customers. It's another nudge that gets customers to say, oh, this is popular. Maybe I will like it too. And there have been studies that show that people will buy things that are popular as gifts, and they will buy things that are unique for themselves. So just keep that in mind. But Etsy knows that if something is popular, then people kind of say, oh, well, I might like that too. And if I don't get it, I'm missing out on something that's popular. So then we get into the FOMO and all that kind of stuff. These are just nudges. It's for customers, but you can take this information and, do with it what you will. I personally, these don't have to be here to prove that it's selling because it's on the first page of search. If it's on the first page of search on Etsy, then it's already selling. You can see now that they've started putting these badges on. I've been kind of, crawling all over these pages. I have not seen any connection between whether there's a video, whether there is materials available. And I would say that if you are in a category where materials matter, then to put the materials in the materials section, because that's for the customer. And they've told us before, it's a long story. Etsy, the search team told us that the materials are not included in SEO, like for placement, but having this, and whether that's true or not now, I'm not sure, but having materials available here is important for customers because people are allergic to certain metals, and I can't wear certain metals. So if I see materials available, that makes me more likely to go to the listing to see what materials are in the listing. I used to put materials in for the things that I made because they were edible. So you want to put that in for people who have food allergies and stuff. I'm not sure what Etsy is doing here with the hesitation of the screen. I'm going to go back, but basically, let's search for bracelet again. Basically, what you're getting when you're doing a search is things that are already selling, bestsellers, and Etsy's picks. Okay. Now, I have seen some results. Let's go up here and get a little more specific. I have seen some results. I'm going to click on chains that did not have, okay, that's an ad. I have seen some results like this one doesn't have, oh, that's another ad. Never mind. See, ads you can get in there. This is something Etsy is encouraging people to run ads because with an ad, you have a better chance of getting to the first page somehow, even if you don't have a popular now or bestseller badge. And I hate to tell people to run ads, but if you're in a category like this, you might have to in order to be seen, unless you send a lot of your own traffic. Because if you don't have Etsy's pick, bestseller, or popular now, which means it's already selling, it's going to be really hard to break into a category that's this competitive. It's very competitive because there's a lot of resellers too. It's very easy to resell jewelry. All right, I'm looking. I don't see, that's an ad. There are a lot of ads on this page. Okay, this one doesn't have popular now, doesn't have bestseller, doesn't have Etsy's pick. Let's click into the listing to see if it has Etsy's pick. No, nothing. So this is probably selling, but it's not selling enough to have the popular now badge, maybe. I don't know. But see, this looks more like, no, I guess this is the actual bracelet. I was going to say it looks more like a supply, but if it's on the first page, it's selling. It might not have sold as much as this one. And then when it gets to the bestseller stage, it gets the bestseller badge. It kind of moves it up. You can assume that if anything is on the first page of Etsy, it's selling in some way. Like this one doesn't have the badges. So it is possible. It's possible to get onto the first page of Etsy without having a lot of sales, maybe. But what is a lot? Is it a lot? I think it's a lot compared to other things. So for this one, this might have sold 10 times in the last hour. I don't know. But this one might have sold 50. So just by comparison, this one has the popular now and this one doesn't, but they're both selling. But my main point, and see, I clicked on chain, so it adds chain bracelets, right? My main point is that Etsy is trying to move people through the system without having to have them search. But basically, this is how the algorithm is working at this point. And the deck is stacked against you if you don't have a bestseller badge, you don't have something that's selling already, you don't have the Etsy's Pick badge. If you have the Etsy's Pick badge, now you're in all of these other sections that Etsy is promoting to people and directing them to. They are directly taking people by the hand and saying, click on this button. And as soon as they do, they're filtered into Etsy's Picks. If you don't have the Etsy's Pick badge, and nobody knows how to get that. It's just something that they do. I will give you a couple of tips that I've kind of noticed, but you can't like do something to earn that. If you don't have a bestseller badge or a popular now badge, and that comes from sales, are things selling already? Then you're probably not going to show up on the first page of search unless you can get that going. And by getting that going, I mean getting some sales started. If you have a product, you send a lot of social media traffic to it, or you're having a sale. If you're having a sale on something specific and you start getting sales on that, it will be ranked up and it will show up on the first page of search eventually. But then if the sale ends and people stop buying it, it is going to drop off. Things change, rankings change. As far as the Etsy's Picks things go, I really think that photos are very important for this, especially in a category that's very competitive, because I was looking at some categories that were not as competitive and the pictures weren't like the Etsy look. And we know what the Etsy look is. It's very beige. It's very modern. It's very neutral. You know what I mean? It's white. It's beige. We know it when we see it. So if you are in a category that is super competitive, I would pay more attention to your photos. If you're in a category that's not as competitive, still pay attention to your photos, but it's not necessarily a deal breaker. Because if Etsy is deciding on something that's really competitive and it's got two listings that are pretty much the same price-wise, it says, I mean, you saw the bracelets, they all look the same. If you have something that looks the same as something else and your reviews are pretty much the same, what's going to be the deal breaker? What factors go into that ranking that are going to make Etsy put an Etsy's Pick badge or put you on the first page? It's things like the photos. It's things like the reviews. It's things like how fast do you ship. It's other things that go into it. It's not your keywords. Because if you have two listings that are pretty much the same, it needs to have some deal breakers in order to decide where to rank. When you're doing research on Etsy, you don't even need to click into the listings. You can see exactly on there what's going on. And, you know, this is getting to be a rigged system. I hate to call it rigged, but it kind of is, because Etsy is really pushing people to go down the path as opposed to type in a search. So if you have any questions about this, please leave them. I can do more looking at more specific things, but I think that we just all need to understand that there's more that goes into ranking on Etsy than just making a sale and having the right keywords, especially just having the right keywords. People seem to think if you have the right keywords or your title is great, then you're going to be at the top of search. No, that's not how it works anymore. It might have 10 years ago, not anymore. So leave any questions, give this video a thumbs up, and I will talk to you later.